You can also find Grizzled Eye Care on Facebook and send us a message. Don't forget that eye exams correlate to your whole body health too. It's not just new glasses and contacts. So come see me, Dr. Katina Simmons, at the all-new Grizzled Eye Care, formerly Dr. Zuckerbrand's. Hope to see you soon.
Did you know that Allstate Insurance, the Trahan agency, has 2 offices now, Plainfield and East Lyme? And that's good news for you, since Kevin Trahan has been in the insurance business for well over a quarter of a century. Plus, he's easy to find. Just search in any browser, Kevin Trahan, Allstate Insurance. And when you get to his Facebook page, you'll find tons of helpful information on questions you may not even have thought to ask. Allstate Insurance, Trahan Agency, Plainfield and East Lyme, proud sponsor of Griswold Youth Football.
Hi, Miranda Mahoney here from Grizzle Pride, your local drug prevention coalition. So, marijuana, now legal in Connecticut, but there are some things you really should know. It's only legal for people 21 and older. And always, always secure your cannabis products like edibles, vape pens, dabs, and of course marijuana in a locking storage container and keep it out of sight and of reach of kids. Kids don't know the difference between a THC edible gummy and a candy gummy you might buy at a store. There's many resources available at grizzlepride.org or our Facebook and Instagram pages. And parents, you are your child's greatest influence. Talk early, talk often about the risks of substance use on their developing brains. Check out grizzlepride.org. grizzlepride.org. grizzlepride.org.
Your community radio.
Live from Main Street.
Don't change anything. I love your show just the way it is.
Mike Minarski and Paul Lash in the morning. And 80s all day and night. Your community radio.
SNSN.
Your community radio.
Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Paul Lash in the morning and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
Like they always say things that aren't stupid usually. And then they are stupid. It's funny.
Well, we don't really have any stupid things to say today, do we?
We could.
We can.
Hang on, I'll find something. Looking.
You and me both.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking. I'll find you something.
We were just ramping up right after the weekend, so we're still
Okay.
kind of...
You want something stupid?
Uh-oh.
Okay. What does the portable fan say to the ceiling fan?
What?
Go on.
Huh?
Sorry, I'm not just a big fan. You wanted something stupid.
You have the weather, Paul.
Well, you didn't like that?
I don't know if I got it.
What did the big ceiling fan say to the little...
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Right, he's not a big fan. This is a small fan.
Okay.
My God.
Moving on.
Well, you wanted something stupid.
Well, you took the cake on that one.
I wanted to give you something stupid. All right, right now the temperature downtown New City is 70 degrees. There'll be a chance of showers this morning. There could be a possible thunderstorm after 11 a.m. Some storms could produce some heavy rain. Highs near around 77 degrees. However, the wind could be anywhere between 10 to 13 miles per hour with gusts as high as 23 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is around 80%. And, of course, anywhere between a half to 3/4 of an inch of rain is possible during this storm. For tonight, showers mainly before 8 p.m. and then lows around 57. And, of course, for Tuesday, sunny, highs near 79. And, of course, for Tuesday night, mostly clear with lows around 57. And that's your weather from SNSN on this Monday. What's the date?
27th.
Huh? It's the 27th?
27th,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
June 27th,
Remember
2022.
I was already in July.
It's not July yet till the end of the week.
That's close.
Do you realize that this year is half over already?
I know it. You realize
Has the last 3 years just like went? Boop?
Yeah. You realize we've already gone through the longest day, and now we're on our way back.
It's all downhill from here.
Now it's all downhill.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. So we have we have a very important topic that we can talk about today.
Boy.
Yeah. And, I don't know if, well, first of all, I don't know how many men can really go ahead and say, well, we know how this feels, because we don't.
Yeah, that's true.
We can analyze it.
Well, you never know, because in the future, transgender women now become transgender men. So,
right.
So they could have babies. Yeah. But anyway, that's
But you see what I mean, though?
yeah,
I mean,
it's a tough subject. We have no clue.
we don't.
No.
We don't. And the only thing we can do is analyze it and really kind of guess.
I guess.
Well, really, I mean, we
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
We don't know.
We don't know. Men really don't know. I don't care what anybody says. We don't know what women feel about this.
That is true.
You know, and how they feel. That's, you know, it's,
yeah.
They can voice, you know, women voice their opinion.
Yep.
And men voice their opinion, but it comes from different places.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, I put something up about it, you know, how it really bothered me, you know, the whole thing, just really from a rights standpoint. Now, I do know and I did know this, and my friend Mr. Terry,
yeah,
you know, made sure, you know, that I realized it too, which he was right, is that the decision that the Supreme Court of the United States made with Roe versus Wade doesn't it's not anything on the state level.
No.
Except for the states that have trigger laws that automatically, you know, it becomes law in their state, whatever the Supreme Court of the United States does.
Yep.
So Connecticut, we know, is unaffected. Pretty much anybody,
well,
you know,
I think
any state in New England
New England is
unaffected.
pretty much, yeah, no problem with it. It's the more, I guess, the Bible Belt, I guess you could say.
That's in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri.
Yeah, Alabama, Missouri. Those are all in question right now. Yeah. I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of religious people. Southern Baptists, they're very, very religious.
Well, like, all right, Shayna just chimed right in and said, "Good morning, gentlemen." Good morning, Shayna. This is a horrible thing for America, she says. Now, Shayna, tell us why it is, in your opinion. I'm not saying it's not. I want to know what your opinion is.
Yeah.
You know, instead of saying this is a horrible thing for America, tell me why you feel it's a horrible thing for America.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is it?
I just really want people's opinions, you know, and why they think this way. And you're going to get totally different views from men and women.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to something.
I mean,
and then you're going to get people who are going to sit back and then they're just going to cross their arms and go, "What a jerk." But they don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
So, but that's okay.
I mean, it's up to the individual states. I mean, if you have an opinion, and I mean, some of the states have got depending who the legislatures are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people should have a right to their opinion, and it should be, you know, a vote based on what the people think, not what the legislatures think.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
That's the way it should be. You know, have it some kind of a referendum in the state where people vote on it, whether you want it or you don't want it.
80% of Americans that were polled over the weekend believe this is a bad thing.
Yeah,
this is an incorrect, bad thing.
Well, don't forget the media and social media is really pushing this thing because they're making it look like it's one party's decision.
It's not.
It's not, and that's what they're trying to do because they know they're in trouble. Now, whether it's right or wrong, I don't think it should be political.
Correct.
That's the problem. But they're doing it because they want to make it political. They want it to look like the other party is the one that's behind it because they know they're losing in November. So that should be out of the question.
Good morning, Joanne. It's good to see you in there. She goes, now here's a different angle from a lady.
Yeah. Where
are the men's rights when the man wants the baby and the woman wants an abortion? I believe it affects the man also.
Yeah, right.
See, this goes much. I believe personally that this goes much deeper than just whether or not abortion is legal or not in a certain state.
Yeah, but I don't think Roe versus Wade gave the men any additional rights either.
No, I don't believe. I believe
there's
correct
nothing there either. Yeah.
Shayna says, I think it's sad because this is her opinion, that I had asked for.
Yeah.
If the government can control our bodies, what's next?
Yeah.
See, I don't believe that the Supreme Court should have the supreme ability to make this choice over somebody.
Well, first of all,
right, wrong, or indifferent.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I guess the way it should be is it should not be considered illegal.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be part of anything. It just should
There's
be.
so many
It
factors.
should be based on some medical decision or whatever, not necessarily a law that says you can or you cannot. It should not be the problem.
Okay, so Paul, let's put it this way. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You have 2 kids, correct?
Yeah.
You have 2 children, okay?
Yeah.
So now let's just say, there's a mock law or a law that goes into effect. This is not really true, but I'm just playing a little game here.
Yeah.
That after a man fathers 2 children, you have to get a vasectomy.
That's not unheard of in some other countries.
I'm talking about the United States of America,
Yeah.
where we are the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, I don't
Okay.
know, I don't know about land that are
So
free
let's
anymore.
say the Supreme Court says you have fathered 2 children. You now have to have a vasectomy.
There's going to be all kinds of protests. Ain't going to happen.
Okay. But I guess I'm just trying to put it back
I
into
know
the
you
lap of the, no pun intended on the lap joke, but I mean of males.
Yeah.
You know, what would,
They wouldn't say no.
who, males?
I mean, some would do it, some would not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how would you feel personally? Would you say, whatever? Or would you be offended and say, no, you can't tell me what I do with my body?
Well, let's look what just happened with COVID and the requirement for a shot. Same thing.
Mhm.
Government tell you what you do with your body.
Ooh,
You get the shot or else.
you're on the trail, Paul. You're on the trail.
So there you go. Same thing.
Yeah. See, what I believe that this is a part of larger things.
That's,
I don't think this is just, unfortunately, about Roe versus Wade. I think this is a part of other things as well.
yeah, could be.
You know, I think right now, I mean, we're attacking, or they're attacking, you know, they know females are going to be, you know, women are going to be up in arms over this.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I mean, you know what? It's not up to me to go ahead and tell anybody
But
what to do with their, same thing with a shot,
Yeah.
same thing with having a child,
Yeah.
whether you should or you should not. It's not my call. It shouldn't be anybody's call but that individual.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to get it done, they're going to be able to get it done. California
Yep.
right now, they want to be known as come to us. And, you know, they want to be the abortion state.
Hmm.
I mean, that's a hell of a thing to look at.
Well, Connecticut too.
Well, Connecticut they're not advertising themselves as an abortion state.
No, but they're saying it's pretty much a sanctuary for people.
Yeah, if they
you know,
want to
for
come
women
here,
that do,
yeah,
sure,
if they
yeah.
want to come here, they can come here, and that's the way the rule is right now, based
Yep.
on the legislatures that are currently in place. Because it's still a rule, not only Connecticut, but all the New England states. What kind of surprises you? Because think about going back many, many years. They're a bunch of Puritans. I mean, they're very religious. Remember, when New England states, you know, the original colonies, they were all Puritans. But yet now
Yeah, that's
it's
hundreds of
all
years
open.
ago.
That's open, and now you got the Bible Belt in the middle of the country is the ones that are kind of like yes or
Mhm.
no,
Yeah.
you know. So
It all changes.
yeah, so it's going to be interesting what happens in the individual states. But I think that the people who live in them states should have the yay or nay vote on whether or not it's legal or it's not legal.
Mhm.
I mean, that's the way it should be. Don't just let a legislature get up there and say, yeah, this is going to be law. That's not the way it should be run. So,
This is going to go
uh-oh.
about 20 different avenues.
Oh, yeah, that's
you
fine.
know.
We all know that. But I just think we need to keep the political shit out of it.
So, right. So
That's-
Daryl from the Healthy Computer, School Street, Jewett City,
Yeah.
says the government didn't force the vaccine. To compare the vaccine that would protect you and others around you is no comparison to singling out women and making them making them have a baby, no matter what the circumstances. That is attacking a person's individual freedom.
The government didn't force you to get a.
That's what Daryl says. The government did not force you to get the vaccine.
That's why a lot of the people lost their jobs because they wouldn't get it. How many healthcare workers lost their job? How many people in the armed forces?
How many people won't go back to work because of that?
So
So you Good.
I disagree with them that the government didn't force you to get it because the government was forcing you.
They gave people an ultimatum. They
That's
said,
right.
okay,
Either
this, you don't have to get it,
Yeah.
but this is what's going to happen. So Daryl, you are correct where, it wasn't mandated by the government. It was mandated by certain companies,
Yeah.
but the government, no, I don't know of where they mandated the vaccine, but they sure as hell made it difficult if you didn't.
Yeah.
So that right there, or you ever play a game on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a game that I play all the time. I'm kind of addicted to it. It's called Home Escapes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about this, it's just this guy who is fixing up his house. He's a butler and he's whatever.
Yep.
And you go on and on and on and on. And you keep playing. It's a puzzle game. It's kind of like Bejeweled. A lot of these games are all based on the old Bejeweled concept.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that keeps this game going financially is that if you get to a point into a level that you cannot go ahead and move on, well, then they say, well, you can buy these power-ups for this amount, this amount, this amount, and this amount. Well, I look at it and go, no. And I keep going. And they want you to do 30 things with like 11 moves. Yeah. Impossible. Yeah. Pretty much impossible.
Yeah, they want you to buy.
Right. So anyway, when you start a level, there may only you get people. I don't know, and I don't think I realized it at first too, because if it's a game, right? It's not a game. Even Miranda Mahoney, brought this to my attention. This is really, it's gambling basically. So let's say you start a level, right?
Yeah.
And there's only one move that you can possibly make that's on that board. Well, it's the game that controlled that.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So now you're hoping, all right, I'm going to clear this right here, and then other items will be replaced, and I'll have more moves.
Yep.
No, there's only one move again. Until the point where you have depleted all of your moves, and you can't do anything and move through to the next round. I know this sounds stupid, but there's a moral to this. So what happens? After about 8 or 10 times, you're getting frustrated because you can't get through it, right? So next thing you know, it's like, oh, all right, I'm going to buy these power-ups. I'm going to spend $1. I'm going to spend $5 or whatever. That's the mentality. Because you want to get to the next round.
Sure.
Well, so that's an option.
Yeah.
So people will do it. They're beaten down. All right, I'll buy these moves so I can get to the next round of the game. That the game is controlling all along.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The game makes you feel like you have a choice. But you really don't.
Because you can't go anywhere.
You can't. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of feel like this stuff is. It's like they're making us feel like we have a choice. Like Daryl, you just said, the vaccine. It's not forced on us by the government, you say. Okay, that's fine. But if you don't, then you can't do this, and this.
Yeah.
So it is your choice. But it's kind of like a video game. The video game's controlling your moves.
Yeah.
What you do next, not you. When you eliminate pieces, what happens? The game decides what pieces are replaced.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing.
Yep.
It makes you feel like you have a choice, but you really do not. So let's get to some comments here.
Okay.
Daryl says the vaccine is still a choice. You're right. You are absolutely right. It is a choice. I mean, if it went to, if you sat there and there's a court of law, yes, it was a choice. Laura says, not to mention how many children are currently in the foster care system when we talk about Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
I'm going to read this before. Okay, Paul, I'm that is an inappropriate comment. I'm sorry, dude. I love you, brother, but that's not. I'm not gonna publish that one because there's. Paul's basically saying is if a woman is raped, he has no problem with a woman getting an abortion. If there's a medical issue with the woman or the child, they have no problem, he says, with the abortion. But if a woman has a relationship with a man on a hot summer night, sorry, you shouldn't have done it. No deal with life, no abortion in that situation.
Well, yeah, that's the way some people look at it.
Okay.
It was your choice at the time.
Paul, Paul, I get what you're saying. Just not going to publish it, just the way you worded it.
It's not my comment.
No, not you. No. Paul in the chat room. Yep. Daryl, you still had a choice for the vaccine. Yes, we're not debating that, Paul. Daryl, we're not debating that at all. Women have lost the choice of their bodies, and yes, it is political. The justices put it in the place of the former administration, made this happen. The only way to change it is by voting. That is where the politics come in. Okay.
It is politics.
Of course, there's politics and everything.
Why do you think it leaked?
Politics and everything.
Why do you think it leaked?
Sure.
It leaked because they wanted to get it out.
They're not stupid. They know how to play this.
They're playing politics. That's the whole thing. And they want people to get it in uproar. And where are we? We're coming into July. Yeah. When's the election? November. They know they're in deep shit.
Yeah.
So they need to do something to get people all riled up. And by right, I mean, they're riling up a lot of folks. You know,
Daryl's replying to Paul, I believe here. The women should be forced to raise the child, give up her future, and end up in poverty as the man goes on with his life. Saying that's not right.
Yeah, I know that's what he's saying. Yeah. I guess it should be choice. I don't think there should be any restriction. As long as it's done at a point in time where there's really no life there.
Court makes a very important comment here. The Supreme Court does not make laws. Talk to your representatives at the federal level to codify legislation on the abortion issue one way or the other. He says, I am not qualified to make that incredibly difficult decision as I am not a woman, which is what we said right at the beginning of this.
Right.
As a father, I would hope that they choose life.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's throw this out there. Okay, you have two people. Hot summer night. Get down, make love. They're at the Patchogue boat dock, having a little vino. Next thing you know, wama lama bengong. Right?
Yeah.
90 days later, the woman doesn't say anything and tells the guy, I'm pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And within them 90 days, they have flourished into a wonderful, loving relationship. They care about each other. They read each other's text messages because they're not worried about what the other is saying because they don't care. That's love, folks. Melissa, my phone's right there. I'll go, you can read it if you want to. I don't care. I don't even have a password on my phone. Whatever. So then the time comes where the woman, let's say, she says, yes, I'll marry you. But she's already pregnant, but he doesn't know.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that she doesn't want the child and decides that she wants to have an abortion. What happens now?
That's touchy.
You see what I mean?
That's a very touchy. Yeah.
Right? The man is like excited because you're going to have a child.
Yeah.
It's going to be my first child ever.
Yeah.
But because maybe she's not ready or whatever the reason is, she's decided to terminate the pregnancy because it is her choice.
Yeah.
What happens then?
Good point.
Now, folks, don't get me wrong. I'm not standing on a soapbox. I'm not sitting here telling you what my opinion is or anything like that. I'm just simply bringing up a scenario. What happens then? Does the man have no choice? Because yes, the female had decided to have sex that night, but so did the guy. It wasn't a rape.
No.
It was a very loving situation. Does the man have any choice?
I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know what that situation is. I
Okay.
don't know.
How many men have vasectomies because the lady they're with says, I don't want to have a child?
Correct.
Where's the choice there?
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
You know, these are scenarios. There's a million scenarios here. This is the whole point, I guess I'm trying to make, is it's not about just whether or not the government is taking the right away from a woman. There's a million different angles.
Yeah.
Just like your guns. There's a million different angles. If you don't think they're going to challenge that, then you're nuts. Just because it's in there, you know, I heard yesterday, well, abortion's not in the Constitution and guns are. Well, yeah, I know that. But I don't think they're worried about where anything is right now. If they want to go after it, they're going to go after it.
Yeah. They're looking right now for the president to do something. Stop it. I don't know if he can, to be honest with you.
Let's see. Paul in South Carolina says, if you want to play, you got to pay.
Yeah, I think in South Carolina, I think they don't have an abortion law, right? I think
I don't know.
They're part of the middle. Yeah, I don't think
This has become very political.
Oh, it's become.
This is
Sure it
Republican versus Democrat, like
That's
it's been for the
exactly
last 10 years.
That's exactly what this is.
But we don't see this.
A lot of people don't, because the social media in the media is trying to push it as being the fault of one party. That's what they're doing.
Daryl says, LOL. I know I should probably stay out of this conversation, but damn, I'm so pissed. The rights of my daughter and wife have been shown that they can lose their equality at any time. And then he said to you, sorry, Paul, that's a chauvinistic point of view.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't, which Paul are you talking to there, Daryl?
What are you talking about?
Paul says, sorry, her choice. The other Paul, sorry, her choice was back on that Saturday night. Her choice, period. When does the word mutual come in?
I don't know.
If that's,
I'm not sure if the man has equal rights in a lot of things. I mean,
well, I will say this: if a woman does not want to have sex, make love, whatever, it will not happen.
Correct.
So it is ultimately her choice.
Yeah, I mean,
how many women have played that game and used it as a power trip?
Oh yeah, they know exactly.
I'm in charge here.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
Where are the men's rights at that point?
Yeah.
Okay, Laura says, what if they used birth control and she still got pregnant? Does that mean they are forced to have a child that they never planned for?
Yeah. Well, yeah. What about the situation where the woman told them they were on birth control and they were not, and they got pregnant intentionally to force the guy to marry her?
Like I said, this is a political thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, it really, I believe it to be political. Personally, I think women should have that choice whether or not.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if something happens out of wedlock or whatever, then whatever. But I still think it's a woman's body. She should make that decision whether we like it or we do not. It is still her body, her choice.
Yeah, and I think
that is my personal opinion on it.
They should be able to make that choice. They should be able to do it, but I think it should be within a certain time frame. You know, don't wait 8 months to have this thing done. You know what I'm saying? There should be within a certain time frame where it would be okay. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's really formed, and you know, I mean, if you can't make a decision, I don't know how many months it is, but 3 months, 90 days, 6 months. I don't know. But it should be done. If it goes after a certain point, then you can't do it.
Yep.
If you can't make up your mind.
What about health reasons? What about what about a woman like an atopic pregnancy? A woman not going to survive.
Yeah, that could happen. Mm-hmm.
So what do? You let her die?
No, you're right. I hear you. Yeah. But I think if it came down to it, I think that they try to save the baby rather than the mother.
Court says, why? Now, this is, I think, to your elections comment.
Okay.
Why, all capitals, would Republican-backed justice tackle this just before midterm elections that looked very favorable for their party? It does not make sense.
I don't know. I have no clue. And why now? This thing's been in place for years. Why all of a sudden now are they?
I don't know why they're messing with it. I don't understand. That's the big thing about me. Why mess with it? Because I don't think it's about just this. I think it's about many other things. I think this is just a piece of the puzzle.
And why now?
That's now?
A good point. Yeah, why now?
How many of these huge issues have been coming up one after another ever in our life?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been like rapid fire.
Yeah. Okay. And the first time it's ever been leaked.
That was on purpose.
Sure, it was done on purpose. It was somebody's clerk that leaked it.
Good morning, Cindy. Hey, Cindy. How about, this is what she says. How about when you've taken all precautions possibly to not get pregnant and they fail? Conversely, how about the women who did not want children and was high on birth control, only to find out after she ended up pregnant that she has an incomplete set of hormones, which the birth control completed.
Mm-hmm.
If not for the birth control, she never would have gotten pregnant.
Yeah.
True story, she says.
Yeah. What about a young kid? Take a 12, 14-year-old kid.
What about females? Or nope, that's right. Gender doesn't exist. We hear. I'm woke. Let's say someone is born female, and they become male.
Yep.
Is it not their choice to do so? Or is it even a choice? It's just the way.
Well, I don't know how many females who tend to go male completely transition to everything.
But if you do, guess what? You can't go back.
Why can't you go back?
If you have a double mastectomy?
Yeah, you can still go back.
How? Implants?
You just won't have any breasts. That's all. I talked to you this morning, and I said to you this morning, been reading a couple articles where some women now who made a decision to go from being a woman to a man and had the double mastectomy, okay? Now they were young. Now as they're older, they're realizing it was a big mistake. And they're transitioning back to being a woman. However, of course, they don't have any breasts.
Okay.
But that doesn't make much difference.
Doesn't make any difference.
Who cares? Right. So that's the part that scares me, is that because we're so messed up in this whole transgender thing with social media and and the pronouns and all this crap, that a lot of kids at a young age think they need to move over, and in reality they don't, and they realize too late. But I think the one good thing about it is it takes a long time to transition from the real operation. And it takes a lot. You got to take drugs for the rest of your life in order to maintain, if you go from female to male. There's drugs you got to take. You don't have those drugs,
right, you're
in trouble. So, but I think a lot of them now are
it's hormone therapy.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are realizing that maybe they might have made a mistake. And they're trying to go out there. They're actually swarming to talk to young kids about that.
Okay.
Because let's face it, that's the big thing today.
Daryl says, just to be clear, Paul Ash is awesome. The chauvinistic comment was made towards the other Paul.
Okay.
So, and Paul says now, Let's not forget about the child's rights. Oh, I don't believe in abortion 8 months or right before having a baby. Problem is people don't believe in baby part trafficking. They ignore it. If they don't believe it, it's time to wake up.
Yeah.
I've done with my comments. I'm sorry if I offended anybody, but that's my only opinion of many. Have a great day, guys. Paul, your opinions are always welcome as long as they are appropriate. We can go ahead and post them.
That's what I'm saying.
But
is
you are more than worthy to have your opinion, sir.
That's what I'm saying is I think there needs to be a time frame when you can have it done. If you
You're still going to have an argument.
If you go beyond,
you're still going to have an argument.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, it's like we're going to, you know, that then it's like, all right, we're going to throw you a bone. You have 184 days to make this choice. Now it's. I think what the dilemma is here, or the big problem, I don't want to say dilemma is not even the right, but the issue, the heart of the issue is that women feel that their rights are being taken away. Mm-hmm. And that's the end of it. They feel that they're just, their rights are being like, what's next? I even put up, but what's next? Slavery's coming back? I mean, really? No, if we're going to go ahead and repeal, I mean, everything, why even go towards this? When I heard that they were going to be attacking this issue, you know, in the Supreme Court, I'm like, why? What?
I don't know.
What there? And then it's like, there's got to be something much deeper than just a woman's right. There's more to this. There's just more to it.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's part of a bigger picture. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but. Daryl says, what are they using baby parts for? Are they making some sort of super baby? Yeah, I would love to see this super baby. Maybe they have superpowers. There's a comment here that's from Facebook user.
Oh.
And I want to see who this person might be. So, okay. Good morning, Richard. Richard says, well, hold on, let me go back to the, see. Shana says, but I also think this is a real political move here in Bizarro Land. And I agree with Shana.
Yeah, I believe it's political.
Why now? All political.
Why now?
All right. Richard says, 32 years ago, I took part in a consensual act that, unknown to me, resulted in a pregnancy. Thank God the mother put the child up for adoption. 17 years later, I got a call from the child and now have a great relationship and have 3 grandkids with 1 on the way. I was robbed of 17 years of being a father, but make up for it now. Fortunately, she was adopted by great people who have accepted my family into their lives. That right there is a wonderful story. Yeah. Have I talked to this man personally before? Yes. I have. He is, and he has 2 wonderful daughters now, you know, here. Very talented, smart. Yeah. So it's like, and you have another one and you don't get a chance to be a father?
But we hear those stories all the time. Yeah. How many kids today are actually looking for their real parents? A lot of
Dude,
them.
I'm sorry that happened to you because I know you're a quality man. So
there's a lot of kids grown up now that are actually looking for their birth parents.
Sure.
They are looking for them. Yeah.
And then there are women who are holier than thou.
Yep.
And only they can raise their child.
Yeah. That's true. What are you going to do?
That's a different subject.
That's a different subject. Yeah.
Daryl says, I think the Republican Party really screwed the pooch on this one. I don't know. I think the only stance I'll take on this is that, well, first of all, you know, some of this hits home, you know, because I know people that, you know, have tried to get pregnant and suffered a couple of tragedies because of it. and it just didn't work out. And that was their choice to have a baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they went through another kind of another process. Thank God it was available. And things are going to be working out for them, which I'm very, very happy.
Yeah.
But the thing is now, is that going to be attacked? Is IVR going to be attacked?
Yeah.
You know, is that going to be, you know, come under the gun and say, well, whoa, we can't do this now.
Yeah.
It's, you know, that's why I'm thinking, yeah, it's a woman's choice. It is her body. We may not like it, you know. Then there are other things that come into play that people will try to equate into this, which has nothing to do with it, like custody battles. It's got nothing to do with this.
Yeah. But it's going back to the party thing again. I don't think their intention was to take away rights of women. I think their intention was to put the decision back in the hands of the people, not the Supreme Court. That's why they went back to the states. There's a lot of things going back to the state. So I don't think their intention was based on taking away the rights. I don't think that was their intention.
Okay, so now we can sit back and we can say, okay, the government did not mandate vaccines. They didn't.
No.
However, there were a lot of requirements and rules that were laid down
Right.
that forced your hand
Right.
to do something or to not.
Right.
Right?
Right.
This is kind of the same thing.
Yep.
So what did that really prove? It caused division.
Oh, absolutely.
It caused division
Big time.
within American citizens.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you better do this. No, you better do that. No, you better do this.
Yep.
I don't want to do that. Back and forth, back and forth. It's division. It's caused division in friends, relatives, parents, and children. I know parents and children that don't talk anymore because of political views.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. And the timing sucks.
Yeah.
They should have, right now. But
I mean, I agree that you should be able to have your thoughts and be I mean, what's the word I'm thinking of? Boy, I'm having a hard time thinking of words right now.
It's Monday.
Yeah, that's right. By Wednesday, I'll know. Anyway, you should be passionate. Be passionate about your views.
Yeah.
You know, there's one thing that, like, whenever somebody makes a comment in here, or if somebody makes a comment really to my face, you know, or whatever, and you're passionate about it, and as long as, you know, you're not being a jerk and calling names and stuff like that, well, yeah, then fine. I'll shake your hand and say, okay, that is your opinion, you know, but I still love you, because everybody's allowed to have their opinion, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, just like me, I can have my opinion.
Yeah.
You may not agree with it, Paul.
Yeah.
But you still show up, right?
Yeah. I mean, this decision was not solely on the Republicans.
No.
It was made on the Supreme Court made the decision.
This is not
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. It was everybody in that Supreme Court had to be yay or nay. And I don't think they were all Republicans that did that. They're making it look like it is because of the situation.
Well, majority rules. So
Yeah.
whatever.
But again, it's the timing. I told you that something was going to happen around July that's going to make the big shift because they know they're losing. I thought maybe gas prices are going to come down, stations are going to be fixed. I mean, something's going to happen because they know they're losing. This is another thing to put division among us again. And look at all the things, like Darryl said, blaming the Republicans. Not necessarily the Republicans. It's everybody who was on that Supreme Court made that decision.
And I think the one of the things that you had mentioned is that hold on, Deb, I want to put this up. With all due respect, how could they not know this would happen? Not all these states get to dictate what happens to a woman's body.
Yeah. I don't know. How come this state doesn't do it? How come this state? How come all New England is?
It's political. It's a political thing. I think they're taking a very, very powerful subject that they shouldn't have messed with. They should have just let it be.
Right.
They
And
should
why
just let it
now?
be. And why now?
Why
Yeah.
now?
Like I said,
We got other things we have concerns about. Why now?
Yep.
Yeah.
your pregnancy, your choice. Your life, your choice.
They knew.
Your body, your choice. That's it.
Yeah.
What happens after that can be negotiated between you and a mate or whoever. But it's still.
Well, the people in those states are going to have to speak up. They're going to have to somehow, vote the people out that if they're not giving what they want, then they have to vote those people out. As simple as that.
But I do think this is part of something much, much bigger. And I think they're picking on this as a part of their pie that they're looking at.
Well, we don't have COVID anymore. We don't have COVID shots anymore.
There you
So
go.
now we
There you
need
go.
something new.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's
that's-
unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate
You're,
too
you're
because
screwing with people's lives.
because now you're taking the news off of inflation, gas prices. Biden not know if he's here today or tomorrow.
Mhm.
All the things that's going on with the Ukraine, and all he's blaming. I mean, let's face it. That's what they're doing. They're taking that away and bringing this out to the forefront now. So now we talk about this, and the other
Yeah.
stuff sits in the background with nothing being done.
Yeah.
Because they know, the politicians know they're in trouble. Let's face it. Yeah.
So anyway, Deb, I mean, I think you know where I stand on this. At least I hope you do. Because some of this gets personal.
Mhm.
Not all of it gets personal.
Yeah. I mean, a woman, it should be up to a woman. She should be able to make the choice.
Yes.
But I still think there
Yes.
should be a time frame. Don't wait 9 months and decide "Psst, that's
Yeah.
it. Because now you're actually, it's a little late. So there's with some rules when this should be done. I don't see a problem.
Yeah.
I just there could come a point in time where you're actually killing somebody.
What's that?
Think about it. If a baby is completely, and I don't know what the time frame is when it's completely formed, whether it's 6 months, 7 months, whatever.
But a woman does.
Well, but I mean, I think she does.
I'm sure she does.
Yeah. So there should be.
You see what I mean?
But there should be some rule that says, if you're going to have the baby tomorrow and I'm going to have the abortion today, so I don't have to have a baby. That's a little ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But there should be some.
So you're saying there should be like a time frame where they should be able
once you go
to
beyond,
or not, or
once you go beyond a certain point, then maybe it's too late. And it should be agreed upon by all of the parties.
Mhm.
I mean, who would know better than women?
Yeah.
So.
I'm a dude. I mean, I'm a guy. I mean, I think certain things just like because I'm a guy.
Yeah.
But this is something that is like, why are we trying to control it?
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
I don't know.
You know what? Men make decisions all the time on their own body. And you know what we're told? Suck it up. Because it's your decision. You know what? Women, they have the right and choice to make their decisions too. Just like men do.
Yeah.
No different.
Mhm.
And if you would have asked me this 25, 35 years ago, I would have probably said, I don't know. But that changes as your life changes.
That's true. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of women now who are becoming part of the legislature, and hopefully the decisions were made in the future that are equal to all. So I
Well,
can say, I don't know.
There's one thing that I am not going to go about. I'm not going to go blabbing about on our show, but I'll tell you right now, I am thankful for a woman's choice because it goes both ways.
Oh, yeah.
Did I get him?
No.
Shit. I knew you good at getting those things.
He was not aborted.
Huh?
He was
Oh, Paul. Oh, my God. I guess when you're 77, you can make jokes like that. Daryl says, I believe there's a time frame for abortions late term, if only done if the child or mother is at high risk.
I mean, I think
Okay.
I think that's what we're saying. I mean, we don't have a problem with doing it.
There are women, I am sure, that will say, no, let the baby live. Or there are women that will say, I understand, end it.
Yeah.
It's, guess what?
Their decision.
It's their decision.
Correct. Don't disagree.
Their husband, boyfriend, significant other may not appreciate it or like it.
Their decision.
It's still their choice.
Correct.
And that's why I do not understand why. I mean, you can say, oh yeah, it's political and it's going to have a lot to do with the election, the midterms and everything. But court said right out, why would they do that? Why would the Republicans, because you said it's Republican, Democrat, right? Why would they mess with that? Especially during the, if that's what's going to happen. Well, who do you think went ahead and leaked it? Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to come out anyway.
Yeah.
God.
Well, I think they're saying that
Stuff pisses me off.
Yeah, because it was, what's his name? Pence was a big component of, he was against abortions to begin with, Pence. He's a very religious guy. So I think it all stems back from Pence when he was vice president going against this thing. And maybe that's what made the Supreme Court think about it. I don't know.
Your biggest fan, Daryl Nadu, says, found it. Over 40 states, including Connecticut, have laws that specifically prohibit abortion after viability or a specified number of gestational weeks. Most of these states provide an exception when the abortion is necessary to preserve the woman's life or health. A few states provide an exception only to preserve the woman's life, whereas other states have additional exceptions, such as in cases of severe fetal abnormality.
There you go.
He says it seems like 20 weeks is the cutoff point in most states.
Yeah. I mean, you should be able to make a decision in 20 weeks.
Hmm?
I mean, they should be able to make a decision in 20 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. In the past, we all know that abortions were a form of birth control many, many years ago. It was it was a very common thing, but years ago, it was rather than take birth control, just get an abortion.
Yeah.
That's what started this whole thing many, many, many years ago. So
I don't like to use this radio show as my own soapbox, and do I really ever jump on it a lot, Paul?
no, not really.
No, once in a blue moon. This is one of those things that kind of hits, and well, it does hit. And yeah, I don't agree that they should ever have messed with this. They should have just let it go. Just let it be. It's a woman's choice. It's a woman's body.
Well, again, that's not what they're saying. They're saying we're going back to the states.
Mm-hmm.
Connecticut allows women to have.
I understand that, but let's say all 50 states bind together and then they go ahead and adopt it.
So
what happens then?
Women have their choice.
All right, but
all states are not going to do that.
I understand that. I know the reality of it. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But let's say, what if?
Mm-hmm.
What if that does happen? Then what?
Women are going to go elsewhere, just like they did years ago.
Germany?
No. Years ago, let's face it, there were a lot of places that, how many times have you heard where people were going into these dirty, scroungy places to get an abortion? Years ago, because there weren't any abortion centers many, many years ago.
Mhm.
And they were all getting infected. A lot of them were dying,
Yeah.
right? So they made it kind of legal where we could actually go to an abortion center. So if a lot of the states have abortions
Like
available,
Planned Parenthood, like
Yeah,
a place
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, right? Yeah.
yeah. So if a lot of states have abortions, if I live in a state that doesn't have it, where do you think I'm going to go? I'm going to go to a state that does, because I can just simply go across the border and have it done. Nothing
Right.
says I can't go to another state.
Right.
So women are going to have the choice. They're going to be able to go. Maybe they'll do it in their own state, but they should have a right to speak up the decision that's made in that state.
Shayna says, and this is, I mean, you want to put it right down in layman's terms. Women don't make this decision like they're ordering a milkshake.
No.
It's more along the
No.
lines of an animals in a trap that need to gnaw their own foot off. It's tragic. I'm just saying. And you know what? This is something that men don't understand.
Yeah.
We don't understand. What did we say? What did I say at the very beginning of this whole
I
this
know.
whole show today? We don't know. We don't know really how we should feel when
Right.
it comes to this,
And
because we're not.
Can you imagine that decision that they have to make? That is one
Yeah.
hell of a decision that you have to make. And if you make a decision that you decide to abort, and then you decide, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. How do you think they're going to feel after it's done?
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to feel it. And then, of course, there are some that, I don't really care. Okay.
It's I'm
Yeah.
sure it stays with you for
I'm sure.
life.
I'm
Yeah, this
sure.
is-
Yeah. So it's a decision that we don't have to make.
Yeah.
But it's something that I believe should be their choice. If they make that decision, it's their decision.
I agree.
So there's nothing we're going to be, nothing we're going to be able to do to change it.
It just makes me very angry that government in the land of the free, in the home of the brave, right? And I said that at the beginning of this show today, that they can just step in and try to dictate what we can and cannot do, and what choices we are able and what choices we are not able to make as human beings. You can do it in other countries, but all of a sudden now in the United States, things are changing. And that's why I think that this is being used. This subject matter is being used to get somewhere else. And I think that sucks. It's awful. It's terrible. Yes, I know the Supreme Court doesn't make laws. Yes, I know that, Connecticut, still, allows, and as well as
New England.
Yeah, but I mean, the total of states, I think there's 8 or 10 that have trigger laws that mirror the Supreme Court of the United States. I think it's just a part of something else. And I keep saying something else because I don't know what that something else is. But all I can tell you, it just feels like there's story after story or issue over issues over somebody else's issues that only does anything but cause division. It's Republican or it's Democrats. Vaccine or do I not get the vaccine? Now they're attacking women's rights. What?
It's another diversion.
It's a division diversion.
Correct. To take
Yep.
people's minds off what's actually going on in the country. They're doing it intentionally.
Yeah.
Because they know everybody's looking at this issue because they know it upsets a lot of people. Yeah. And women are a lot of women voters. A lot of women voters. And if they could point the finger at one particular party, that's what they're going to do. Because they know in November what's coming up. Once this rolls over, what's the next topic?
I think it's pretty pathetic that they have to pick an issue like this to go ahead and use it towards a political.
They don't care. They don't care what it is.
I know.
I mean, look what they did with COVID, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
They were all set up on getting these shots and all this stuff, and people who have shots right now are still getting COVID.
Yeah, this is not a Republican Democrat thing.
No,
but they make it that.
Absolutely. So, yeah, it's part of their plan. And, what's next? What's the next thing that's going to be riling people up? This will blow over eventually. Okay. They'll have to have something else to pop up between now and November.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's evil people that are out there that are rooting this country. We don't know who they are, but there are a lot of evil people who want to see this country fail.
Yeah.
And it is failing. You can't even talk to one another. Not anymore. Because no matter what I talk to you about, your opinion, I'm not going to like it. I'm going to be ticked off at you.
A lot of this stuff too has created so much social anxiety with people.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's so many social issues that a lot of people, not just kids, but adults, they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with me. They don't want to deal with you. They don't want to deal with the person down the road. Why?
No.
Well, I'll just text you.
Yeah.
And I think that causes a whole different set of problems. But, it's like, well, you know what? I'm not going to tell you no. I'm just not going to answer you.
That's pretty much what's going on.
So
nobody makes comments anymore, because if you do, and somebody doesn't like it, they're going to rip your head off. So you don't do it. You don't do it, and you ignore it.
One of the things that I put on my own personal Facebook page is basically, what I talked about was, this is kind of a continuation of that, is that I thanked people for having an adult conversation. I may not have agreed with whatever, what other people would have said. And I don't.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I don't appreciate their opinions and their thoughts on the matter. Same thing in here.
Yeah.
My opinion and my thought is that if a woman gets pregnant, it is up to her what happens.
Yeah.
Because
and
for me to sit there and say, no, guess what? You can keep it or you don't. It's not up to me.
And a lot of women who are protesting, women's rights, probably would never get an abortion. It's the idea of them taking away their rights.
And here we are, a couple of old guys talking about something
that we have no clue about.
We have no clue about.
Exactly.
Because we do not know how.
No.
And honestly, I am thankful for the people that have gone ahead and shared their thoughts with us this morning.
Yeah. No,
I am, because the only way that I think the only way we're going to learn, about each other, because we're so busy pissing each other off, we're not learning about each other, is that to go ahead and respectfully listen to everybody's opinions. You may not like it, but you should be able to play in the same sandbox.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the politicians we have in Washington can't even play in the same sandbox.
What's that?
The politicians in Washington can't even play in the same sandbox.
And that's the way they want it.
Sure, it is the way they want it. I mean, they're showing you that you're fighting, but I'll bet you behind the scenes they're probably all kissy face. You know what I'm saying? They want you to. They put this perception on, but we all know how politics works. You do this for me, you scratch my back, and I'll scratch yours, whether you're a Democrat or Republican.
Daryl does not believe that this is a diversion. He goes, there is no issue in my mind bigger than this one. If this is a diversion, which I don't believe, they could have just lowered gas prices, because that's what we would have wanted. That's the easy one.
They don't want to lower gas prices.
Right.
They don't want it.
They can pick on this subject right here and not worry about their paycheck.
They don't want to lower gas prices. It's all part of the Green Deal.
Cost.
It's all part of the Green Deal that they want to bring it in, but they have no plan of how it's going to work.
You're going to buy an electric car whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Sure, they're $35,000, $40,000, but they're not affordable. Oh, but neither is gas now, is it?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
It goes back to my stupid little video game thing. You're playing the game. You only have one move on the board. The board in the game controls what your moves are. You think you have a choice, but you do not.
Yep. Yep. You don't hear anybody talking about gas prices now. You don't hear people talking about inflation right now.
How about the Russia-Ukraine war? How many people are talking about that?
It's quiet. And by the way, did you hear the latest?
Nope.
Putin's ready to shoot a nuke into London. Mm-hmm. That's what his aim is going to be, right at London.
Tomfoolery, pretending you have choices, says Shayna, and that I think that's the big MO there. I honestly think that we don't have choices. We think we do. We don't. So anyway, it's a very touchy subject.
Something we're not going to resolve.
Of course not. But I'm certainly glad that we had men and women alike share their opinions and their thoughts on this.
Mm-hmm.
Some I agree with, some I don't. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter what I agree with or I don't, because everybody's allowed to have their opinion. And guess what? Here, you get a choice. I'm not gonna, unless you start swearing and stuff like that, and then I have to. Don't want to get boomed by Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and YouTube and all those that we stream on. So, but I do appreciate everybody's opinions and their thoughts, mm-hmm. and how they feel about this, which is very deep. Yeah. Very, very deep. So now this is much deeper to me, honestly, than whether or not you get the shot or you don't, because this goes right to the heart and the core of a human being. Mm-hmm. You know, you can decide, okay, what other, I'm going to get the shot. I'm not going to get the shot. But you have a living, breathing baby.
Yep.
It's up to you.
Yeah, it's two sides to the issue. You got the woman's rights and you got the baby's rights. So you're right. There's two sides to the issue. So
right. Oh, one thing we did not attack or talk about is that the whole religion aspect of it. See, I ain't even gonna go there, but
yeah, but I think the Catholic Church is wrong.
Yeah,
they should allow women to do whatever. There should be some kind of birth control. Never mind, they need to grow up.
Yeah,
and let's face it. Now I can understand them being the abortion thing. That's what they're against. I'm sure it's not just the Catholic religion. There's a lot of other religions, and it could be the reason why the Bible Belt is feeling the way they are too.
Probably, I would agree with you there.
I think there's a lot more.
Church and state, though, got to separate.
I agree, but
that has no place in this.
There's a lot more people that are very religious in the Bible Belt than there is up here in Wayland. I think there's. Let's face it, Alabama, Mississippi, those are very, very religious people.
Where do we live? United States of America, right?
Yeah.
Home of the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Yeah.
Which includes choices.
Yeah. Well, I think I would agree with you if it was 30 years ago, but our choices are, they're taking them away.
Doesn't mean we're not entitled to them.
Yeah, but
it doesn't mean we're not entitled to them.
It's the start. Somebody's.
Just because 30 years have gone by, Paul, doesn't mean that we're not entitled to make our own choice.
We are, but I think they're taking them away from us.
Oh yeah,
they want to.
Of course they do.
Because
I'm not saying we're not. I'm not saying they're not doing that, but I'm also saying that we are entitled to that.
They're quick. They want to control us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're sheep.
That's it.
All right. I'll see you on Wednesday.
No,
it's true. Oh, yeah. That's true. We'll see you Friday.
Maybe later.
Maybe. All right. Yep. Rich Waslick tomorrow morning joining me, and maybe we'll talk about something a little more friendly. Oh, God.
Okay.
It's one of those subjects that had to be talked about with us here. So at least we're not right-wing extremists.
That's for sure.
Have a good day, everyone.
Life is full of choices. At Jewett City Savings Bank, we can make one choice easy, finding the right checking account. We offer a range of affordable accounts to fit your budget and needs, and each gives you the freedom to access your money the way you want, online.